This is the Computer Geek 0101010001 here, and today we are back with the Dukane Compact 3200 intercom system. Yep. Yeah, that super rare intercom system that I got about a year ago. This is July 6th or 7th, 2017. Yeah. So, yeah. This thing. Yeah. That gum. Well then. Okay. Drop the camera down a little bit. And there we go. So yeah, Dukane Compact 3200 intercom system. Yeah, this thing is ridiculously heavy. I mean, I could barely get the thing up off the shelf this was on. And I could barely get the thing off the shelf that was stored on. And that's saying something. I mean, this thing's about 55, 60 pounds. Last time I even attempted to drag this thing out, I had to cart the thing around on a chair, of all things. But yeah. So let's start with. So this is just going to be a general overview. Not going to power it up. Not going to do a teardown. Just a general overview. Let's see. It is a Dukane Compact 3200, model number 12A3200-25. Now, my best guess is that this was originally a 25 room intercom system, as in just one module was installed. One module serves 25 rooms if each switch is wired to just one room. So yeah, it was originally a 25 room system, and it was manufactured sometime in 1998. I think it was built 97-98 school year, and then commissioned 1998-1999 school year. This thing came out of my old came out of the old Art Junior High building, the old 1973 one, which has been torn down about a year ago. I got this, I think, less than a week before they started the asbestos abatement. Yeah. So, 25 room system when it left the factory in '98. And apparently a second module was added on, making it a 50 room system. This certain chassis is equipped to be able to serve up to 3 rooms, and not only have your main module here on the top, but actually have an AM/FM radio. I kid you not. You could install an AM/FM radio module right down here and actually have a radio on your intercom system. Yeah. I kid you not. Radio down here, if you wanted a radio to every room, you just turn the radio on, mashed tape tuner on your program selection area, and then mashed all for your program mode. Oh yes, you could also have a cassette deck in here. Yeah, a cassette deck. Honestly, I wonder if there's a combination type thing a cassette deck and AM/FM radio. And if there is, I'd really like to buy one. I mean, I've seen, and I mean, with my past eBay searches, I've seen the tuner module. I think I've even seen the cassette deck module. But I've never seen them both combined. Yeah, this system is pretty much built with modules. So yeah, this is the original factory module. Services 25 rooms. Now, this second 25 room module was added sometime down the line. I presume in late 90s, early 2000s, around the time this thing was stuck into service. So, and the room 1 switch is kind of borked. Yeah, this is the room 1 switch. Apparently the top got sheared off, as in this thing, leaving it totally unusable. And then this, I did that. Opened up this first 25 room module and yanked an LED out to see if I could power it. Apparently I fed a little bit too much current through there. Oops. Yeah. So, this thing technically services 50 rooms, but if you were to wire this thing up, it could only service 49 rooms, unless I were to actually solder in a new switch and LED, which I'm totally not interested in doing anytime soon. So yeah. Room 1, room 2, room 3, all the way down to the end, which is room 25. Room 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, all the way down to room 50. Now, this is your intercom switch. And notice these two lines. If you probably can't see them, but there's a line up here that's green. And on each far end, it says intercom. And on the bottom end, there's another line, and on each far end, it says program. Same thing goes for the second 25 room module. Now, to use the intercom, you will need to select a room and take this switch and flick it up. Just like so. And then you would have to mash the intercom button and then speak into the built-in microphone right here, release it, and then that lets the person on the other end talk back to you, and then you can communicate back and forth, and when you're done with the conversation, just turn the switch back to its neutral position. Now, program selection. Yes. Pretty complicated here. So, whenever you take a switch and flick it down, it tells that room speaker to go into program mode. Or it will make it so that way if you select a program mode here, that room's intercom speaker will follow accordingly. So, you would take a switch and flick it down and then select your program option. Now, if you wanted to apply the same program to every room, you would just press all and then one of the program buttons. Now, the program mode will not work unless one of these has been selected. And to select individual rooms, like say, just going from 1 to 25, 26 to 50, 25, room 8, no, this is room 26, that's 25, room number something, room 50, and then you would have to press select, and then that would select these rooms, and then that would select any switch that was down for use with your desired program function. There's my phone. Like say if you wanted to talk to rooms 1, 7, 15, 25, 49, and 30, you would flip those switches down. Now, those rooms intercom speakers will now function accordingly with the program selection you select. And if you just want to broadcast a tone, you just mash the tone button. Now, this is not a latching switch, unlike the other 5 buttons here. So you have to hold it for as long as you want the tone to be broadcasted. Now, if you wanted to speak through the panel mic, which is right here, you just press the panel mic button and it latches. Then you can use the panel mic and say something to those rooms. When you're done, deselect. Microphone 1. Yes, there's a microphone connection on the back of the intercom system, as we will see later. If you wanted to use that microphone and speak to those rooms, mash the microphone 1 button and speak. When you're done, deselect it. If you wanted to use the optional cassette deck / tuner module, or whichever is installed, press that, and then use the tape deck / tuner module. When you're done, deselect. Now, auxiliary input 1, mash that, and then there are 2 jacks, 3 jacks, RCA line level jacks on the back of the intercom. These 3 RCA jacks are responsible for giving your intercom system an auxiliary input. Say from a DVD player or something, like you would ever want a DVD player on your intercom system. You can hook an audio source up to these. Auxiliary 1 is stereo. Auxiliary 2, however, is only mono. So if you wanted auxiliary 1, which is stereo, you just mash the auxiliary 1 button. When you're done, deselect. If you wanted auxiliary 2, select. When you're done, deselect. Now, what if you wanted to do something like have the same program selection, but for every room on the system? You would do that by pressing the All button, under Program Mode. Now, that will make every speaker on the system correspond with what you select here. Tone? Well, in this mode, it'll just feed a tone through every room, through every speaker connected to the system. Panel microphone, you can say something to every speaker on the system. Mic 1, same thing as panel mic, except you're using an external microphone. Tape tuner, cassette deck or AM/FM radio module, every speaker on the system. Auxiliary 1, you have your auxiliary 1 inputs, and that's getting passed to every speaker on the system. Auxiliary 2 input passed to every speaker on the system. Now, there's a button over here labeled Emergency. Now, this is a push-to-talk type of thing. And what you would do to use this, hold this button, wait for the tone to complete, and then you would say what you want to the panel mic, and then release. Now, if you just wanted to broadcast a solid tone, mash the tone switch. Tone button. That is actually a latching switch, and I believe that's for safety purposes, so you can just latch it and forget it. When you're done, deselect. Now, program level. Listen level, actually. this controls the volume of the little speaker behind here. I mean, it's not the best speaker, but it's definitely not the worst. I mean, I put it on par with a pocket transistor radio. Program level. This varies the volume of what's getting fed from here to the speakers. So if you had, like, take tuner on all speakers, you would want, and you were getting and you either had a very loud cassette tape inserted into your cassette deck, or you were picking up a very loud station on the AM/FM tuner module, and this was up pretty high, you could just turn it down. And then that would allow you, and then that would vary the volume to every speaker on the system or individual rooms, depending on which selection you have for your program mode. Now, listen level, that affects the volume of this speaker, and this speaker is used whenever you're monitoring a program selection, or you're on the intercom mode and someone's talking to you through the intercom system, with you being the operator of the intercom system. Now, let's get this thing turned around. There is nothing to show on the sides. Though, boy oh boy, there is plenty to be seen on the back of this system. Ah yes, we got a multitude of inputs and outputs and stuff. So, you might see these brackets. And you're like, what are these for? Well, these brackets help hold the cables on that screw, I think they actually, these brackets help hold the cables on that would plug into these ports, and these cables serve up your intercom call switches and your intercom speakers. These brackets keep those from falling out or being easily unplugged, either intentionally or unintentionally. Now, next thing you know, you see a whole bunch of stuff. Emergency tone enabled. This is actually, I believe that's actually an external control for the emergency tone. So if like you have another office across, like say this is a main office in a school, and then you have another office, like a secondary principal's office across the building, and someone in that office wants to be able to activate the emergency tone, you would have wires coming from your EM tone enable going to a switch inside your secondary office, or wherever the switch is located. Door tone enable. Yes. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I'm pretty sure it works in a similar way to your emergency tone enable. Time tone enable. I think that works the exact same way as I described the emergency tone enable. Preamp output. Yes, preamp. This thing is a preamp. This is useful for if you do not want to use the intercom system's built-in amplifier and use your own amplifier. Yeah, found that kind of neat. Now, inputs. Oh boy. External tone generator control out. Okay. I know one of these. Yes. This is a 24 volt 5 watt output. These two terminals. These two terminals right here. that delivers a 24 volt DC electrical signal to these. Now, what happens if they were to unintentionally short? Well, they are unfused. Unfused, raw, open, live, 24 volt DC outputs. That can actually start a fire. I've actually shorted them before. They put off a pretty good spark. I think I actually welded one of my screwdrivers to those once. It was a pretty weak weld, but it's a weld. And if that happens, I don't know how this thing passed UL safety certification. Or maybe some hack job. Maybe some hack job hacked it up in there after it was manufactured. But I highly doubt that, because whenever I cracked this thing open for the very first time, needless to say, those screws were pretty tight. And if you're wondering, yes, the system is about the system is about 19 years old. So, I mean, next year, 2018, it'll be seeing its 20th year of existence. Yeah. Microphones. Yes, there are two microphones you can use. Mic 1. You have two mic 1 inputs, and then a shield connector. That is the equivalent of ground. And then mic 2. You have two inputs, a shield connector, a control connector, and then COM, which is the equivalent to neutral with the AC power line, or negative for DC. Yeah. And this is a reset switch. It works. Yeah, there's a reset switch on this intercom system. And, I mean, why would they put a reset switch on the intercom system? I mean, I don't know. And then, right here are the voice and enunciator 3 blanking plates. Yes, yes. If you had a third module installed to allow this system to service up to a whopping 75 rooms, then you would have a third bracket, and these blanking plates would not be here, but they would instead have ports in them for your third set of voice and enunciator cables that allow you to hook up an additional 25 speakers. And this blanking plate down here is for, I think it's a clock module. Yeah. Or an additional transformer or something. I don't know. I think it's for a clock module. But yeah. Now right here, this is your 6.25 or 6 1/4 amp or ampere, depending on how you like it termed, slow blow fuse. Easily accessible. This is for the main unit. If this fuse blows, you do not have power to the unit. I mean, the AC power line goes straight to here, and it goes through a transformer, step down transformer, then to here, and then on to the rest of the system. And then here, and then yeah, these serve up 24 volts DC at 5.5 amps. This is your positive connector. This is ground. That's fused. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. This is your main fuse. 2 amp, 250 volt slow blow fuse. And then this is your 6¼ amp 250 volt slow blow fuse. I'm pretty sure this is where the output of the transformer is connected to, or the input to the main module back here is connected to. And then back here you can attach something, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I've seen, I think only one or two of these complete systems on eBay for, I think, $200 or $300, and that's just eBay. Dukane has no longer acknowledges the existence of this series of systems, the Dukane Compact 3200 series of intercom systems. And I mean, Dukane Canada Corp. 41 Manitou Drive. I mean, my best guess is that this was imported from Canada. I think this was a special order imported from Canada. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, these systems may be super rare here in the US. I mean, I've seen a ton of parts for other intercom systems on eBay. One or two of these complete systems on eBay. I think I've seen the cassette deck module, and I have definitely seen the AM/FM tuner module. So yeah. And before we close this video out, let me pull those fuses for you, if you're curious. If you want, you can go ahead and skip to my outro. Yes, I know, it's kind of cheesy. It was filmed during the daytime. I'm just holding that. I'm just going to use that to hold over till I can refilm at night. Yes. Dadgummit. Yes. Camera will focus worth a darn. Well, you probably can't read it, but it says 250 amp 313 6-1/4A on one side. And then the other side is blank. But yeah, it's a 6¼ amp 250 volt slow blow. I'm rattling the noise in my toolbox. Now let's look at the 2 amp 250 volt slow blow. This says 250 volt UL listed, CSA listed on one side, and then the other side it says bus MDL2. So I think this is a Busman fuse, series MDL2, or model MDL2. But yeah, that's all I have to say for the overview of the Dukane Compact 3200 intercom system. Yep, Dukane Compact 3200. And I mean, I've seen about a bajillion other Dukane intercom systems on eBay. But I mean, I've never seen anything. I've really never seen many parts or anything for a compact 3200 system. I mean, it's just weird. But yeah, this is the Computer Geek 010101. There's a squirrel on the road. Let's try this again. This is the Computer Geek 010101 001 here. Peace out, guys. Peace out. And stop.